Welcome to our 15th Friday the 13th special in a little over 3 months.
All right, who are you people?
We're the skeleton crew, sir. Alex is just fooling around.
Hey, yeah, I'm just fooling around.
Yeah, can it, jackass. You say Justin hired you?
Yeah, uh-huh.
He paying you for this?
No, but we're toying with the idea of charging for retrospectives or interviews.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, what have you been smoking, boy?
Me? Don't smoke. Causes cancer.
You know what I mean. Would you just get off a spaceship or something? Colombian gold, man. Grass, hash, the weed. Dig it?
Hey, what's he talking about?
Hey, don't get smart.
Me? I'm as dumb as they come.
Hey, not another word out of you. You understand me?
Really, sir, we're just trying to do a show.
A show? For who? You kids keep your noses clean, understand? You'll be hearing from me if you don't. We ain't gonna stand for no weirdness on the radio.
You're listening to The Skeleton Crew, exclusively at HorrorBid.com and the Horrorphilia Podcast Network. Hello, it's Camp Blood, ain't it? Welcome to the Friday the 13th special.
Who the fuck are you?
don't
Soul
even know
from the
you
Turkey
anymore.
Boys?
Dude, I'm trying to be, what's his name?
Doesn't sound anything like Crazy Ralph.
Okay, ready? You're listening.
You're going... No. It's... You're going to Camp Blood, ain't ya?
You're listening to the Skeleton Crew, ain't you? This is the Friday the 13th special. This is
And
horrible.
Alex is an asshole. What, dude? What are you trying
All right. I have no... Dude, come on, I ran out of ideas. How many shows is this, all right? Are we finished yet? How many more do we have to do before we're done?
What are we on? This is 24?
I'm on Miller Lite. What do you want?
I'm on myself with the...
Yeah, you're always on yourself every Friday night.
Yeah, I think so. Well, no. No, they need to hear the details on the upcoming Halloween 4 and 5 Blu-ray giveaway. We
Right.
haven't really talked about it as of yet, but I guess that's going to start next week. I think we're going to give more details on it, but it's basically going to be a trivia contest.
Nobody's getting them. I'm taking them all.
Yeah, really? Why do we have to give these away, really?
Because
give 'em
it's
away.
something for the fans. It's nice.
Give them away to me, Mike.
Hey, I love them, and I'm not keeping them for myself. I'm going to buy them like everybody else.
Whatever name you pick out of the thing, just say Alex.
You just
Nobody can see you. You're on the radio.
well, no, but guy, here's what we're gonna do. This is, I guess, what we decided. We're giving them away as a set, Halloween 4 and 5 together. So, what's gonna happen is we're gonna ask 3 different trivia questions over a period of 3 weeks.
More than that, buddy. More than that.
Oh, more than that. Oh, okay.
Let
well,
me
I
see.
guess
I have the trivia questions right here. Should we announce them yet?
no. We're gonna do that on a weekly basis. We're not gonna start them now. No.
I got 7 questions.
We got 7. Okay, so then we'll ask them, and then if you get a question right, your name goes in the drawing, and each time you answer a question right. Your name goes in. What?
It's how many times they answer right. For example, there's 7 questions. You answer all 7. We tear a piece of paper 7 times and write your name on it all 7 times.
And
so
it goes in.
Your odds go up the more you know about this terrible show.
Yeah.
Because
So start listening.
yeah, you actually, you guys are going to hate this, but you have to listen to this show to know the answers. We hope you enjoy this interview with Officer Dorf, Ron Millkie, followed by a brand new exclusive with Adrienne King, Alice Hardy from Friday the 13th, 1980. We have the law of the Skeleton Crew. We got Officer Dorf, Ron Millkie, Friday the 13th. How are you, Officer?
I'm doing just fine, Alex. Good to hear from you guys.
Yes, thank you for coming on the show and celebrating Friday the 13th with us.
Oh, sure. I love it. Just like you guys do.
Absolutely. You know, Ron, what I really love about you is that, you know, it's a known fact that horror movies is not why you came to New York to be an actor, but you really like the horror fans that you met over the last 10 years, and you really got into it and you really embraced it.
Well, I did, because, you know, I'm an actor, and if I didn't have Friday the 13th, I'd be just one of the thousands and thousands of totally unknown. So I'm grateful for it, and it's great. It helps. Let's put it that way, And maybe the wonderful thing about film is that you live on after your spirit has gone from your body. So that's something to be proud of.
It must have become apparent through all the conventions and just overall interactions that horror fans seem to be the most passionate fans of film.
I know. Maybe you can explain that to me.
We're psychos.
We don't really understand it ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's wonderful because this has just happened in the past. I wasn't really part of the conventions until I was working on Satan's Playground, and Ellen Sandweiss said, "Are you going to go to the convention?" I said, "What convention?" I didn't know anything about it, and it was Kevin Clement's convention in New Jersey. What was that? Thriller or Chiller?
Chiller Theater or something like that.
Yeah, and that was 2006, and that was my first convention. I didn't even know all this was going on.
Now here's the thing, though. You did Friday the 13th, and then you did A Return to Salem's Lot in '87, and then you followed up with 2 non-horror films, New Jack City and Grand Isle, and then you took off for 11 years before returning to film. Like, what made you take this break, and what got you back in front of the camera in 2002?
Well, those 11 years, I started to make some money. I was traveling. I was doing my seminars all over the country and working for a woman named Linda Bennett, and she had a company called New York Contracts Models. It was a convention of models, and she would fly me out to various cities, Chicago, Miami, Atlanta, Minneapolis, and I would speak to we had 800 to 1,000 models in the audience, and I would talk about acting. And it's funny because they never mentioned Friday the 13th. It was mentioned, but none of them were asking me questions about that. Really? Back in those days, it was about soap operas, how to get in a soap opera, and how to get into TV commercials. So that's what I was doing those years. And I was also teaching at Hofstra University. And nobody offered me any roles. I really wasn't going out for it at that time. So that's
you
what
weren't really
happened.
pursuing?
Yeah. That's what happened during that period of time. Mm-hmm.
Would you say the internet and the whole resurgence? The internet really brought horror fans together, and then names start popping up.
I really think so. And then you answered my question earlier as to why this all happened. I think it was the internet.
Yeah, right. Now, one of my good friends, Terry Dawn Arnold, you were in her movie, The Two Sisters.
I didn't know you were friends with Terry. Yeah.
Yeah, for about 5-6 years. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely lady. I had a good time. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this, but Sean Cunningham was actually supposed to play the part of Officer Dorf.
That's true, and a lot of people don't know that. And the reason I know that is because the day that I called him, I said, Sean, I saw your ad in, this was 1979, I saw your ad in Variety. You're doing a movie called Friday the 13th. Is there anything in it for me? And he says, no, Ron, we're cast, and I was just about to hang up. He says, Ron, wait a minute. He says, there's a part. I was going to play the part, but you'd be perfect for it. The part of the motorcycle cop. Why don't you come on over to where they were shooting? Where was that again?
Camp. I'll try this again. Camp No B Bosco.
Oh, good.
In New Jersey.
There you go. And so I did go up, and I read for it, and then I got the part. So he had said he was going to play the part himself, and he probably would have been pretty good.
Yeah, maybe. But you know what? I don't know about everyone else, but when I saw that for the first time, and I didn't really think of the people behind the roles, you were just perfect. The way you looked, the way you talked, everything was just perfect. You delivered everything perfectly. Yep. And knowing you since then, that's not your personality. What did you just try to do? Be a hard-ass cop? You just went in there saying, yeah.
Actors, sometimes we don't know where we get it from, but it's in our memory. Somebody we've known in the past, it'll just come up, And I used several people. My brother Tim was in the Paratroopers, Macho Man. He was a little bit like that. My dad was a tough guy, truck driver, tough guy, And then I used a little bit of Don Knotts from...
nice.
From the what was the show? The Andy Griffith show that he was on, And I don't know, it was just a compilation of people I'd met, and I had such good dialogue. It wasn't just me. It was a wonderful little part.
Yeah, and you're one of those characters on Friday in the Friday 13th series that people are always going on with your lines. Like, we interviewed Carol Locatelli. I don't know if you've seen part 5, right? With the imposter Jason?
I have to say, I haven't. I've only seen the first 3, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember you said that you were subjected to like a string of them one time.
That was the 3 I had to sit through, yes.
Well, listen, I want to personally apologize. You had to sit through part 3.
Yeah. I thought part 2 was terrific.
Yeah, 2 is, yeah.
2. Yep.
Yeah, Dan loves 2.
1 and 2 are my favorites.
Yeah. Well, 4 too, right, Dan?
Well, 1, 2, and 4 is right up there. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, we like to gloss over 3.
Would you be willing to answer a question for me?
Sure.
Yep.
What is your least favorite Friday the 13th?
Oh, 9. Jason Goes to Hell. Oh, it's horrible.
Just the title alone, I think I would try to avoid that one.
Yeah, I think it really did go to hell there. See, I don't know if you know this, Ron, but there's like the base Friday 13th movies, and then New Line Cinema took over, and then they were like just Jason-based movies.
Yes.
So
right.
if you went with the first 8, I'm gonna say part 3 is my least favorite, followed by 7.
Really? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Dan agrees with that, right?
I do. Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Mike, what about you? What's your least out of the first 8?
Part 8.
Go to hell. Okay. A lot of people don't know this. Ron was actually one of the cops calling to Alice before Jason jumps out of the lake at her.
Okay, now this just came up recently. We filmed it. However, Sean filmed it again using somebody else that was not me. I know, this is the first time this is coming out. I looked at the shot and I said, that's not me. I wasn't built like that. I was tall and thin. And that's a heavyset guy. And I asked Sean about it. He says, yeah, we had to shoot that again. So that was not me.
God.
They did shoot it. They did shoot it with me, and something happened. They wanted to add something, or I don't know what it was, and they shot it with somebody else, another actor. I don't know who it was.
Yeah, well, they're like, I want you to wave your hands differently, and Ron already took off. So
that was not me. I realized this afterwards, because they didn't use it. And it was a long shot, and it could have been anybody, really.
yeah.
But I certainly said, that's not me, so that's what happened.
Yeah, what do they actually say to you? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move 300 yards away.
Yeah, we're gonna. Sean, we move very quickly. Okay, Ron, I want you just to, you're looking out here at the lake, and okay, ready, go. That's the way we made the movie.
Yeah. You see, now it's really cool that you like part 2, so you were sort of getting into it, so you had to go through part 3. But did you see the remake?
I did not. I'm sorry to say, I did not. I asked a lot of people about it, and some liked it, some didn't like it, and for the most part, I heard it was pretty good. What do you think?
Overall, we like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. Mike hates it.
No, I don't hate it. I'm just saying take it or leave it. So it's good that
Yeah.
you left it, Ron. Thank God for that.
But
I know that Betsy Palmer was. They were offered her a small part, and they were going to fly her out there. And she looked at the script, and it was one line, and she was highly insulted, and I don't blame her.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, see, there was a cop in that movie, and I don't know why they didn't ask you.
I don't know. I really don't know. I guess they wanted a new. Was it a similar part to Dorf, or was he a different character?
No, different character. It was played more straight, more serious.
Yeah.
In the movie, the kid's coming in looking for his sister, and he's basically explaining, she's not here, move on. It's kind of an emotional scene, so yeah, it's played a little different.
Yeah, but Ron has range. I mean, it ain't like he would have been Dorf again.
Right. Well, here's what I was going to say, though, because in all those movies, and a lot of horror movies in general, they take from, I think, your role in particular, on, because all the cop things, and sometimes it played in different characters, but mainly police officers, and sometimes they go a little bit more campy with it and stuff like that. But I think that your role kind of originated. I don't think you took it too far with the comedy, the
Yeah.
subtle shoulder shrug and stuff like that. Like, I love it, but throughout the whole series, they have a lot of that, and it seems like your character, the way you took that role, kind of spawned all that.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. I got a letter from someone a few months ago who said that you set the standard for the cop in the horror movie, the cop in the horror movie. So
I do believe that.
I was very complimented on that. I thank you.
Yeah, me too. By the way, I just want to recommend, Ron, you should really watch the remake for the Girls Alone. Yeah, absolutely.
not
No,
worth
I bet. Listen, were there any Friday the 13th people in that film?
no,
Nope.
they
Not
didn't.
at all. Yeah,
Go with
So
anybody.
that's what he wanted to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, speaking of you playing a cop, I recently saw Satan's Playground, and you played a cop
Yeah.
in there, and that was like the greatest for like nostalgic, the whole thing. To see you playing a cop again, that was just awesome. And we actually interviewed two people from that movie, or I mean, actually one person, Felissa Rose.
Sure, she was a
Did you get to hang out with her a little bit?
No, I didn't. But well, we all were. It was a freezing winter. I'll never forget that film. Dante Tomaselli is wonderful to work with. By the way, he's one of my favorite directors. But we were freezing up in the Pine Barrens in New Jersey, and we were all in this little cottage there. So we got to talk, and I got to talk to Felicia, and I saw her preparing, and she was like, just really, the tears were coming down her face, and she was, because she had a freak out in the woods there a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really impressed with what she was doing in her preparation as an actor.
Yeah, she's really good. She was in Sleepaway Camp. Did you ever hear that one?
That's what made her famous, sure.
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely. Now, you were in Torture Chamber, and I
That's
saw a
Dante
few...
Tomaselli's new movie.
Okay.
Coming out in October.
Okay, cool. And what about Red Sky? What's this about?
That I start filming July 23rd, and I'll be filming that until the 1st of August, and then I have to go to Pennsylvania. I have 1 day of travel and start filming The Bone Garden by Mike Guttridge.
Mm-hmm.
It's a horror film, and there are 4 Friday the 13th people in it.
Really?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Now that's a treat.
Oh, cool.
And you're going to have to help me with this, okay?
Yep.
Mhm.
Savage. Is it Dee Dee Savage? She was in Friday the 13th 3, I
Oh,
believe.
Tracy Savage.
Tracy Savage.
Yep.
Tracy Savage is the lead. Darcy something.
Darcy
from-
DeMoss from Part
Part
6.
6.
Yes,
Yep.
there you
Oh,
go.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And Paul Kravitz. I remember Paul's
Or Kratka.
Paul Kratka. Thank you. That's
3.
it. Yep. So
Oh,
he's got
wow.
4 of us. Yeah.
Now, Mike, who's that first person? Tracy Savage. I mean,
she was Debbie in Friday 3.
There
oh,
you go.
Debbie.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
This
Yep,
is like her
yep.
first movie in years, because she had stepped away from for a while herself. So
Yeah.
she's actually coming back, I guess. So that's good.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
the whole script is based on the dog's name is Jason, and there's references, many references to Friday the 13th. It's a terrific script, and it's going to be a very scary movie with a surprise ending.
Cool.
Oh,
Mike
awesome.
thought it was a movie about a guy who buries a bone and skeletons grow out of a garden.
Oh, how did you know that? Do you know Mike?
No, that was just a guess. I don't, that was just me guessing, trying to,
Yeah, he's the bone garden, put it
Yeah.
together.
Mike's always spot on.
Now you're writing a book.
Yes, I have. In fact, it's been finished for some time. I'm having a little trouble with the publisher right now. It's called Friday the 13th and Other Days. It's my autobiography. And my publisher won't let it go. He's had it for like 3 or 4 years. And,
Really?
So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But I'm glad this time has passed, because there's some changes I want to make in it, and add a few things about my life. And so it'll be out. I don't know when, but I've got some time. And when you write something like that, you've really got to have time to think it over. You don't want to hurt anybody. You don't want to tell too much.
Right.
You don't want to tell too little. And so after I read one of my favorite actors, Lance Henriksen, who I got to meet at Monster Mania last year.
Oh, we all know him.
Oh yeah, God, he's great. And,
I think he's in every horror movie ever made.
but he's his best one is Pumpkinhead.
Oh yeah,
Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he's such a down to earth person. So after I read his autobiography, I says, no, I'm gonna make some changes in mine. He just told a story about his acting career, and he didn't go into too much detail. And I said that's the way to do it, you know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking forward to reading it. So.
Oh, thank you. It's a lot of fun, and I have a lot of information that no one knows. They will when this comes out.
Well, yeah, I will definitely buy that when it comes out. Absolutely.
Yeah, and the things that happened on the set of Friday the 13th, and.
Oh, come on, just give us something. Come on, Ron.
Oh my gosh! Well, I was totally enthralled with Laurie Bartram.
Mike, who's that?
Brenda.
Oh, yes.
And I felt so bad when she passed away last year.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, we love Brenda, you know. And hey, listen, everybody gets to celebrate her life on while they hear this, and watch part 1, guys. It's on Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it last night.
Do you get any extra money when these things come out on Blu-ray or DVD packages?
You would not believe I get these ridiculous residual checks for after taxes $8.
Oh God, really?
Yeah.
That's how it works. In the 80s, man, things were different.
Yeah. I was only on the set, I think, 1 or 2 days, and that's all we shot it. Everything moved very quickly. Sean moved it along, and we were everybody there was a professional. We had our lines down, and bam, 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 and move on to the next.
Move on. Yep.
Yeah.
And especially because nobody thought this would be anything important or worth caring about. So.
I don't know, but he wanted to make a good film. I was there the same day that they filmed my scene. They filmed the famous scene with Kevin Bacon getting the arrow through the neck, and so I was there and saw how they set that up. And the first time something went wrong and there was blood all over the place, and then we did it a second time, and that was very effective. Kevin was there with a fake neck, a prosthesis of a neck, and the Tom Savini was in the dugout there beneath the bed. That was Tom Savini putting the arrow through the neck of Kevin Bacon.
Wow, well, that's great, dude. And I just want to thank you again for coming on, and we're really looking forward to Red Sky, The Bone Garden, and your book. Hopefully that gets published sometime, But of course, after you make your changes. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, did you know there's a new book by David Grove coming out about Friday the 13th?
No.
Yeah. It's about the original. It's coming out, I think, this fall. And you can Google that. I forgot the name of it, but it's by David Grove, who lives in England.
Were you asked to be filmed for the Crystal Lake Memories?
I think so. I went to Stamford, Connecticut, a couple months ago with my managers, Chris and Stacy, and they interviewed me. Is this the documentary on Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll be in that. And I went with with my buddy J.R. He played the cop in 2. Jack.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
Help me out, guys. Here, Jack.
Oh, gee, that's a little too obscure for us.
Okay. Yeah. So we had a lot of laughs, and it was fun, and they filmed it and asked me similar questions that what you guys are asking me now. But that should be a good.
See that, guys? We are documentary qualified.
Yeah. J.R. Marks, Jack Marks, that's his name. He played the cop in Friday the 13th too.
Okay, J.R. Marks, right? Yeah. I love Part 2. Great movie, good stuff. All right, man. Well, thanks so much. I want to keep you. I know you got, a bunch of things to do, and I just want to thank you for coming on and, hanging out with us for a little bit.
Okay, I'll be listening, and thank you for thinking of me.
Hey,
oh,
thanks,
absolutely,
Ron. We
dude.
appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ron.
Okay, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Hi, this is Adrienne King. You probably know me best from Alice in Friday the 13th, the Soul Survivor, and now probably from Crystal Lake Wines. So I heard the Skeleton Crew has one listener, and he's still there.
All right, Miss Adrienne King, I would just like to thank you for coming on. It's quite an honor.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
Yes, Friday 13th, I think, it's hundreds of millions of people love it, and, obviously Mike, Dan, and I are big fans, and it's just really great to talk to you. But I know that before you came on this show, you heard a few of our other ones, and you decided to have a few drinks of your wine before coming on here.
Just a sip. A sip. Only a sip. You're making me.
Speaking of your wine, how's that business going? Are there a lot of tipsy Friday 13th fans out there right now?
Oh, I don't think they're tipsy. I think they're just very happy campers.
Nice.
People say to me, is it good? I say, it has to be good because honestly, I don't need to do this. I just love doing it. And I'm not going to put my name on something that isn't fabulous. So that's the bottom line to that.
I'm really glad that you got back into your other passion, which is acting, because in 2010, you came back with The Psychic Experiment, and then, The Innocent, Butterfly Room, Gabby's Wish, and didn't one of those movies, didn't they take place on Camp Nobi Soko again?
On Camp Nobi Bosco, which is, but I'm going to give you the way I know it sounds like an Indian name.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
All right, so let me tell you what it stands for, and you're going to love this.
Okay.
It's Camp Nobi Bosco, North Bergen Boy Scouts.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
right.
So Nobi Bosco stands for the North Bergen County in New Jersey. We shot it on the Crystal Lake, was a Boy Scout camp, and it still is. And they opened it last year for the first time to, I think it was 100 Friday the 13th fans who got the auction, they auctioned off the tickets, and they're finally embracing it instead of chasing all the Friday the 13th fans off of the
You're kidding me. I live 30 minutes away and I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, Alex is in Jersey.
You gotta stay on my Facebook page, baby. I tell everything.
Jeez.
You gotta either check into the Crystal Lake Wines fan page or the my own fan page because right now I've got too many fans and I have to start kicking people off because they won't bring anybody else in.
Right.
So it was this huge deal where people literally said they had an incredible experience that was second to none. So and they posted it on my fan page. Yeah.
Yeah. One time I went there, I think it was 2004. I drove in. I was with a friend, all right? And I'm so stupid. I walk in with a Jason mask on my shirt. So we walk up, and I guess the camp owner or whatever, he was there. And then I go, "Hi, sir, I'd like to enroll my..." He goes, "Friday 13th, get out." I was like, "How'd you..." And I looked down, I was like, "Oh." I was going to do the whole ploy that my daughter is interested in coming to camp, and I want to look around.
It's the Boy Scout camp. No daughters.
It wouldn't have worked anyway, huh?
Nah.
Yeah. I would have said, well, actually, my son's more into this now that you say that.
Yeah. Next time,
Yeah.
Boy Scout.
Yeah,
I didn't think you were wearing a shirt like that, Alex. Alex is not the type to wear like horror shirts or whatever.
I was 24.
I consider Alex like the pretty boy type, so that's funny in itself. that
Pretty
you were
boy.
wearing
Oh.
that.
Pretty boy, huh, Alex?
I'm as ugly as they
Are
come.
you one of my friends?
I don't know. I like Mike. I don't have too many Facebook things going on, believe it or not.
Okay.
I am Adrienne.
But I will join. Wait, I can't do it now, otherwise our connection will be lost. But just kidding.
No. I was just curious because that's really, otherwise I wouldn't know a whole lot about you. I go to your page, I check you out,
Yeah. Actually, I met you about like 6 years ago, and you actually told me that you love guys named Alex.
You know what, Alexandra and Alexander are my two favorite names. I think they're beautiful names.
Yep.
They are.
See that? I remember that.
And I have a niece and a nephew of both. So they're
Perfect.
And we were talking about this earlier too, Adrienne, how nice you are to your fans and how much you respond to them and everything. And people really do appreciate that. I remember, little comments that, I'm sitting there at my computer and, you don't think a lot and, I'll send a little comment here and there or whatever. Well, you actually respond with very kind words and you're very into it. And like I said, people really appreciate that. That goes a long way with the fans.
Yeah, I have, I enjoy doing it when I'm around, and then I'll be gone for a couple of months doing other stuff like living, as opposed to being hooked to the keyboard, which is kind of weird because I have an art studio and I have in and out cells here. So when my video's up and when my Facebook is up, I'll play on it. When it's not, I won't, which really works well for me because otherwise it's so addicting. I'd never get anything else done.
Right. I'm the same way.
Yeah. Ever since we started this show, I forgot what real life is like.
I know it's kind of weird how that happens. All the socialization kind of goes out the window. But you see, this is my feeling of how the new socialization is going to work. When I get my video up on Skype, I'll actually see you.
Well, that might be scary. We have faces for radio.
Well, maybe it's a blessing. There's a thunderstorm.
Exactly.
Don't let him fool you. Alex is a pretty boy. He knows it.
No.
Moving on.
Yeah, no, we're not. Actually, what we did, we started this show, and our first show was your movie.
Oh, I love you. That's wonderful. Great taste.
Yeah. Yeah. We did a Friday 13th retrospective, and the first thing that came up was, I'm sure you've heard this 1,000 times, so hopefully enough people will hear this, and, you say it once, more people hear it, clear it up. Your relationship with Steve Christie.
Oh, God.
Now, clearly you said, you're going back to LA or something, California, so you didn't live in the same state, so how did he hire you to begin with? How did you meet? You couldn't have been dating him if you just got there. We're all confused.
Okay, well, first of all, let me explain this. On the pages of the script, there was absolutely no backstory for any character there.
Yeah.
Okay, so everything you've heard outside of the words on the screen has totally been a backstory made up by the actor. Steve Christie met me probably like the year before through friends of his parents, knew my parents or my father, who, by the way, has troubles. I found out later on in comics he was a drunk. And when I got my last name, a party, I had an alcoholic father, I found out for Alice. So needless to say, Steve Christie's parents, who knows, maybe they were alcoholics too. And they all partied in California, and Steve Christie was visiting them, and we said hello, and I had a boyfriend in California who I was having problems with. And he said, well, if you ever need a place to run away to, I have a camp I'm putting together next year, but it's all the way on the East Coast. And I said, oh, well, it's only a bus ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
yeah, right. I'll put you back on the bus myself.
So there you go. So, I took my sketch pad and my paints, and I took a long bus trip to Camp Novi Bosco, or as we call it, Camp Crystal Lake. And I had no interest in him at all, except for the fact he offered me a way out.
Right.
But being naive in romance, as Alice was at the time, she did not realize strings were attached to the deal at the camp. Okay.
Right.
So the night before the roofing incident, as I like to call it.
Yeah. Where you move 1 inch over to get every single nail in there.
You know, the most important thing about
drives me crazy.
most important thing about that whole scene is keeping those nails in my mouth.
Yep.
See, I don't nitpick movies, but that's one thing that I always went back to. Like, why? I don't get it. Why was the ladder only moved like 3 inches? And it doesn't bother me or anything, but I'm like, if I ever get to talk to her, I'm definitely going to ask her. So you know.
And the reason, and honestly, the reason is just imagine, you know, some guys hitting or some girls hitting on you, some guys hitting on me. It's like it just rattles me a little bit. Okay, I'm not focusing on what I should be doing.
Yep.
You know, and so like I'm just trying to figure this one out and not nail my finger, I guess, or not swallow it. And then also thinking about what this guy last night, he was disgusting. I mean, he really, you know, he was drinking beers and I was sketching just because I didn't know what else to do. Like I was holding him back with 1 foot, you know what I mean, while I was sketching.
Right.
And that's the way until he literally like passed out and like was snoring, and that was gross. And, you know, and so that's really how I dealt with it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, because you got to create your own backstory as an actress, right?
Exactly. And if you've ever been to a convention with Betsy Palmer, she will give you the most incredible backstory for her whole mother-son Jason situation. And it goes back to when she was in high school with the class ring that the guy who left her and abandoned her. And I mean, it's a fabulous, you know, if they ever were smart enough to do the prequel, you know, Betsy had the script for them. So
that's what I don't understand either. Why don't they? You know, people like you and her are so into it. You know, you guys, you know, obviously you appreciate the role that you had back then. I just don't understand it. I get it, the studios or whatever, but I don't understand. If they were to make a movie with you in it, you know, maybe even like, you know, different character, whatever, it would be gold and everybody would appreciate it. It just blows my mind. It just, I don't understand it.
How did they not ask you to make any kind of cameo in that remake?
No, they did. They asked Betsy and me.
Oh, they did?
They did?
You said no?
Then, no, but listen, no, this is hysterical. They asked we both had the same convention manager because neither one of us were like, quote unquote, acting at the time.
Right.
I had just moved, I had just moved up to Oregon. It was 7 years ago. And I had officially like retired to paint. That was what I was doing. That was the deal. And then I was resurrected from the dead, as I like to call it, by Peter Bracke, because that's when Crystal Lake Memories, the Bible, came out. Mm-hmm. And my life has never been the same since, because all the writers and directors and producers and fans of the 80s are now producing and doing the movies, you know, writing the movies.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it was a big difference when that all, you know, kind of hit the fan. But I think what happened was they asked our convention manager because they didn't know where else to go. And both of us said, why not? You know?
Sure.
Yeah. Why not? We, you know, and needless to say, both of us were thinking in the background, a cameo in this movie would make up for everything we didn't get for the, you know, the Some of Them 1 and 2.
Exactly.
Well, within about a week or 2 weeks, they took back the. They didn't even put an offer on the table. They just wanted to know if we were interested, and we said sure. And there was no offer or anything. And then they came back and said, you know what? We decided we don't want anybody from the old movies. We want everyone new.
Come on.
No respect.
There we were, laughed, you know, haha. Oh well, that was nice for a moment.
Right.
And people, you know, the fans, you know, it brought in a lot of new blood, I guess, and which is always good. But at the same time, the diehard fans who are just praying for something that makes sense, you know, to happen. It was kind of a shame because they could have done so much with so little. They could have just, I had the whole, Betsy and I and Harry Manfredini were working it out. You know, Ari Lehman, you know, the kid, he now makes, he has a band called First Jason. And of course, You know, you wouldn't have recognized him because, you know, although he kind of looks like Jason grown up now.
Yeah, with the hair and the mustache.
Ari, I love you if you're listening. But I mean, he could totally pull it off, you know.
Right.
We were thinking we could reenact the first diner scene, and you know, and Mrs. Voorhees, Betsy could be the cook,
Right.
and you know, I could be the one taking the orders and give that sinister look at the beginning. They're opening Crystal Lake again, you know that one. And
Yeah. That could have been
you know,
Yeah.
and Ari could have been like wiping the tables, and that's all they would have needed, and everyone would have been happy.
Or else he could have been Enos.
Now, that's typecasting. You obviously know Ari.
Yeah, right? Yeah, he wants to put his hand on a girl's ass when she's...
Oh, baby, you know Ari. Yeah.
Oh, God.
There's not an ass he hasn't grasped.
See, they should have given you guys bigger parts, though. You know, and I know, but the fans want that so much. And, I mean, like you said, you would have loved to do it, and it blows my mind why it doesn't happen. And not to say that these people are wrong in their remake or whatever, but, you know, I hate to say it, but if it was up to me or, you know, 90% of the people on the internet, that's what the people want.
Yeah.
So I'm praying, hoping that it'll happen for you one day, because that's really what everybody wants. Because I think your performance in that first movie, you know, there's been some that rival it, but I don't even think that they're all a distant second. They don't come close. I'm not trying to kiss your butt here or anything, but I really...
You can. Go ahead.
She is on the show.
So,
Here, you can't see it, but I'm turning it towards you.
okay.
Yeah, there you go.
One of the things is, you know, with movies, I can watch this movie over and over and just have the best time watching it, you know? Not that I nitpick or anything, like the ladder thing or anything, but, you know, I can just watch
or
it
the door in the cabin that I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's classic, right?
Yeah, she piles a million things in front of it and it opens the other way.
Yeah, yep.
Do you think ADD had anything to do with that?
Probably played a big role in it, absolutely.
I'm blaming it on my creative ADD.
Yeah,
Alice was an artist.
So it's just, I love it.
You know, getting back to how good you were and your acting, I know a buddy of mine, Kyle Dennis, I know he'd want to throw in, because he can't, you know, be on the show, that you did a really excellent job emoting when you walked over to Mrs. Voorhees, when the Jeep pulled up and you expected Steve Chris, and you were like, "Who are you?" Most people would have just went, "Who are you?" But, like, it was so, like, authentic. How did you know to do something like that? Like, did you think about it, or were you just in the moment?
I have to happily say I was in the moment. You know, I started acting very, 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 very young.
Yeah.
And I embraced it, and I had some of the finest teachers, and I learned so much on set from incredible actors. And I did a great deal of off Broadway. And the theatrical aspect of it is, and this is where Betsy comes from, this is where Kevin Bacon originated too, and everyone else in that movie, it was cast out of New York, out of theater. And that's why I think it really stands the test of time, is that we were all theatrically trained,
wow.
Which means you can't fake a second.
Right.
You have to be in the moment, every bit of it, otherwise it just screams not real. And it wasn't, the thing is, I have to say kudos to Sean Cunningham and kudos to everyone there, because they allowed me to get there, which didn't take a lot, because I was filming at night. Mm-hmm. In very, in a scary kind of situation. So in order to make that real for me, didn't take a lot.
Right.
You know? Therefore, when I put myself into that scene,
yeah,
and I visualized what I just saw with Harry, Bill on the door, mm-hmm. and everyone else, that's very easy to go from there to this. Who are you? You know, it's because right. Like you're trusting it's going to be someone to save you, and then all of a sudden, thrown another curve. So that's where that came from.
Right. Yeah, it was just really, you two, the chemistry was just perfect. It was like, it's one of those things. I think the thing that Dan is alluding to, the thing, you know what's special about the movie, Dan? It was just meant to be. I mean,
Right.
having Betsy Palmer and Adrienne King, that whole last scene, the exchange when you realize she's a nut job, you know,
Yeah.
like, it was just so good. You know what I mean? Even your fight was good.
I always say this about Betsy Palmer. She brought my game up. Whoa. You know, if you're, it's like playing tennis or playing it's like playing anything. You get somebody who is like brilliant.
Yeah.
You are going to become brilliant to stay in the game.
Wow.
You know. And I you know, I've said this many times. I love Betsy dearly, and Sean Cunningham purposely kept us apart on set
Okay, good.
and offset because we would have bonded, no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys good friends now to this day?
We are, but I have to say this one thing. The sad thing is that the last time I spoke to Betsy was about 8 or 9 months ago, and she was having some issues with her memory. And I don't want to go into things that I shouldn't. I adore her, and I haven't been able to speak to her recently, and I think she's moved in with her daughter, which is a wonderful place. She lives in Connecticut, and you know, we became the closest of friends, and she truly reminded me of my mother-in-law, who I totally adored, and I would send her Mother's Day cards every year, and still do. But this particular one came back, and that's because I knew she lived in Central Park West, and she actually had me over to her place for dinner with my niece, which was really kind of fun. She regaled stories of her and James Dean together.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Yeah, I heard about that. Yep.
Oh, yes. And Betsy, you know, she was not only gorgeous, but if you ever checked out her movies before, you know, she became known for the game shows in the 60s, she was just fabulous. I mean, she worked with all of the heavy hitters, you know, Henry Fonda and James Dean and Lord knows who else, you know, but I have not, we became very, very good friends, and I'm sorry to say I haven't been able to speak to her in the past 6 or 7 months. My niece at the time was probably about 13 years old, and it was her first trip to New York City, and I had split my first class ticket to bring her, which was kind of fun because I was living in LA and she'd never been to New York, and I wanted to show her around. And so I brought my Crystal Lake Memories book to get her to sign it, and she didn't have one, so I let her have mine, and she was very, very happy because it was like Mother's Day weekend or whatever, and she wanted to show her daughter, who I've met a couple of times, is very, very nice. And so she said to me, well, we're going to have dinner in. I'll order in. And that's the one thing about New York. I'm a New Yorker born and bred, and I love the fact that you can just order anything you want, and it's there, you know. And she had this lovely brownstone right off of Central Park West. Up in the 80s. And so Alice and I went in, and she's vegetarian. She got me to be vegetarian. I've been vegetarian now for 5 years. God bless Betsy. Yeah. And Betsy, and I'll tell you something, you know, and I don't mind repeating this because God love her. She was the one who said, and I reiterate it, she said, listen, I drink as much wine as I want. Hello. I smoke a doobie when I want. Hello. I'm a child of the 70s, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And she said, the only thing I find that does me in is meat. And she said,
Really?
up to, I'm telling you, she's running around up until 81, 82, carrying her own suitcases. And I would say, Betsy, stop that. I'll get somebody to do that for you. She goes, I can do it faster. By the time they get up here, forget it, you know.
Yeah.
And she honestly, you know, she would have her Maker's Mark at night, and then wine with dinner, and then, you know, whatever.
Yeah, right.
But no meat. And I said, honey, if I can look like you and be that vital in my 80s, and all I have to do is give up meat, I'm there. And so sure enough, and I've done it. And it's, you know, and my body actually likes it better.
Really?
Yeah, I'm totally organic. We live in Southern Oregon, where in the boonies, where when I tell you everything we eat without it being difficult is organic. And I have my own little garden. It's just God's, you know, it's a nice way to live if you can do it, but it's tough, you know, it's a tough lifestyle.
Yeah, it is.
But when you get to a certain place in life, if
Right.
if you can make it happen, it's good. It's really good.
Now, Adrienne, you living in California. Have you been known to smoke a doobie here and there?
I don't live in California. I live in Oregon.
Oregon, I'm sorry. Why did I say California?
You know what? I've got to change that. On my Facebook, it says Crystal Lake, or California, and that's only.
Yeah.
And that's only because Facebook wouldn't let me write Crystal Lake, Oregon.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. So, but I'll change that because.
So that was a dumb question, anyways.
No, no, I have no problem. I'm a card carrying home. I have my card, and I wave it proudly.
You know, I thought you were just really into the Alice character there.
No, listen, Alice wasn't a big stretch for me. Not a whole.
Yeah, she's from California. You're putting on your Facebook.
But I'm from New York, but I am an artist though, and that whole thing. I was sketching all my stuff while I was sketching Kevin and Harry and oh gosh, I was just having a good old time sketching everybody from the lifeguard post.
That was really you who drew that Steve Christie, right?
Oh no, that was not me because there was an art director on set who had a little issue with my art being used and not hers.
Really? That is so stupid. That would be perfect if that was really yours.
What can I say?
I can't believe that. How could they do something like that?
Yeah, but the interesting thing is our technique is very similar, so that was kind of weird too. Because when you see her stuff and you see my stuff, it's kind of very similar. So,
right.
Whatever, as they say.
Yeah, whatever. Now, what I want to know is how the hell did Jason find you?
Oh well, that again is my story because no one told me.
Okay.
So
Let's see. Go ahead.
I figured it was the all the toxic, the nuclear waste and toxic waste in Crystal Lake. He grew immediately, overnight, and
what is it, Lake Chickamaucomico?
and
Yeah, right.
he managed to crawl his way and find a phone book.
Right.
And then he asked someone to find me.
So he does talk.
No, he mumbles, but he was able to somehow telepathically get it across. I don't know. It's insane. It's the most ridiculous.
I know. I'm just kidding. That was just a joke anyway.
But the people ask me that seriously.
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, I imagine.
And I say, he must have looked it up in the yellow pages or called it for mates and grunted his way through. I don't know.
The girl killed my mom.
But then again, the true. What I feel is the only thing that makes sense, which was when I initially signed up for it. Originally, it was supposed to be a dream within a dream, which would make sense.
Right.
The top of it was totally supposed to be a dream within a dream, and it still could be. I mean, if they wanted it to be. Look at soap operas, geez Louise.
Right. Well, look at Friday 13th. The beginning. I mean, the end of your part in the canoe was a dream, and then the end of part 2 was a dream.
Exactly. A lot of dreams going on. Remember,
yeah, stop dreaming. Let's
Dallas at the time. Wasn't that Dallas at the time? There was a dream going on. And Newhart, dream.
It's all these dreams. Wake up.
Wake up already.
Yeah. Now, were you disappointed in the capacity that they used your character in part 2? Because I know, everyone, I think you said it in his name was Jason. A lot of people know, you had a stalker after part 1.
Yeah.
So, and that's the other thing that really, I know that Steve Miner made some odd comments about, I don't know, was it about you or just Friday 13th 2 in general, or having you in it or something like that? I know you were like kind of not cool with something.
Quite honestly, I would not say I was 100% there during the summer following the release of the movie because I was literally fighting for my life, and not knowing who I was fighting from because I didn't know myself for a very long time, which makes it even more bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
Especially at the time, there were no. You think back, there's no video cameras. There's no cell phones. There's no Star 69. There's no nothing. It's your word against whoever. And there were no laws about stalking for about another 6 years until Rebecca Schaefer, poor dear, got killed by her stalker. So,
Wow.
so it took a while for the world to catch up. But I honestly don't know what went down between. I know I had a wonderful dinner with Steve and Denise, his assistant at the time, and we all said, I'm there, whatever, and it was the dream within the dream, the whole deal. But I was with someone, a person who was representing me, who was forming a new agency, and I have no idea what they did. So you know what I said? And Steve said there was some kind of weird thing going on, and I don't know what was going on. So I only say what I know, and I know that I was up to do it. I did it. I came in and I did it, and it was the worst experience I ever had because it was all done in one night without a script. I was thrown into it, wearing wardrobe that was 5 sizes, 10 sizes, 50 sizes too big for me.
Wow. So they didn't give no attention to the scene at all.
We didn't even have. There was no wardrobe fitting.
No script. Nothing.
There was no script, no rehearsal. It was the last night, a full night of the shoot, and it was on a holiday weekend, and it was probably a Labor Day weekend. I can only imagine, but I'm not sure. And everybody wanted to go home, so when they actually did the ice pick, there was no stunt person doing it. It was a guy some guy who was filling in for the props guy who didn't check the prop first, so the ice pick actually did not retract the first time. It actually poked into my cheek.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and meanwhile, in town, and this is somewhere in Connecticut, I am convinced that my stalker is following me. So it was just, it was a horrible, horrible time for me. And I honestly don't know what went down prior to it. And I probably never will because Stephen Miner does not show up to any of these things,
Wow. So wait, for that split second, when that ice pick didn't retract, did you wonder if that was your stalker behind you for a split and say, "Oh, what's going on here?"
Believe me when I tell you, I was. Just think about your worst scenario that you've ever been in, where you don't know up is up and down is down. That's where I was. Yeah. And I was just basically coasting on fumes and just wanted to do what I had to do to get, because I'm very reciprocal, and Sean was so wonderful to me, and Friday the 13th was just a gift to me as an actress. I have grown to embrace it, although I had a decade or two where I didn't, only because of what I thought it brought on to me. But you know what? The reality is that we all are survivors. We all survive something horrible in our lives. I got mine over and done with pretty early. And that's the way I look at it. And if I'm able to give back now, which I am and I do, to people who perhaps are going through really crappy shit for either being bullied or whatever. And I get a lot of that stuff on my Facebook, and a lot of people who, be it that they're gay or whatever, have problems getting through school or problems just getting through life. I really relate to that. And maybe I had to learn a lesson in life, and that's what I look at it. Maybe, I was living too charmed a life, and maybe I had to learn. There are prices to pay in life, and everybody has to learn to find that inner strength to survive, because we all go through shit. And you know what? I went through mine, and God knows it was nasty, but the bloody brilliant part about it all is that I can look back on it and say, I survived, and I'm living a gorgeous life. I've been married for 25 years to the most wonderful man in the world. Come this September, who, by the way, was George Romero's distributor. So we have
a horror connection.
I didn't know him back in the day. We met in '87 through a children's charity. So, but what I'm saying, if you can hang in there, you'll find the light, and that's what I try to tell people.
Yeah, and how odd that you were going through that stalker thing, and Jason was stalking you in that movie.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
And he was in your apartment, which wasn't your stalker in there and like changing light bulbs or something like that? It's like,
Oh shit, yeah. Do you heard about? That's really weird. I forget. I only told that once, and it's weird that interview, whichever one that is. Yeah,
We do our homework.
that was on my second glass of wine.
oh, you're not there yet? Okay, we'll drop it.
No, I finished my first glass, and I'm sitting here down in my office with the Skype, and I haven't walked up the stairs to. That's where the wine is.
Hey, we'll wait. You want to take a breather?
I can't carry you with me, and I think I will.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've got the Camp Blush downstairs here, but I haven't chilled it yet. And you see, you have to chill your Camp Blush for the optimum enjoyment. Remember that, okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't wait to get some of those too. I'm definitely gonna order those this week.
And let me
I'm really
explain
excited.
something to you. This is truly the way to do it. If you can find a couple of people, order a case. You get 10% off. You get free shipping, and the wine works out to $18 a bottle. And I hate paying shipping costs. I don't know about you guys.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And that way, especially, it would be, you guys are in Pennsylvania, right?
Mike is. I'm from New Jersey, and Dan's from Massachusetts.
Okay, but you're all on the East Coast. East Coast shipping is a killer. So, from Oregon, needless to say. So if you can find a few people and divide up the case, that's the way to go. You get the finest of wine, and you get it at a really good price.
And you sign every bottle?
Every single bottle, and if you tell, if you can't fit it all onto the thing, call me at the winery and leave a message if I'm not there, or Facebook me.
Right.
Each bottle can be for somebody different. It takes me 2 seconds, and I love doing it. I've done weddings. I've done cases for weddings where each bottle is like for somebody else.
Wow.
I'll do a line from the movie as well.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah, I think that'll put it over the top.
Yeah. How many people asked you to write "You were last night"?
None.
None. See, look, people have to be original.
I haven't done that one yet. No, it's usually then he's still there.
Yep.
Or, I signed a lot of "See You Back at Camp." Or for this one coming up, it's Happy Friday the 13th, and I'll date it 7/13/12.
Yeah. Actually, this interview is for this Friday the 13th coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. That's
Yep.
awesome. That's awesome. And then if you go on to crystallakewines.com or adrienneking.com, there are two 7-minute videos that are shot by professional filmmakers, Victor Bonacore and Curtis Pugh, and they snuck onto Camp Novi Bosco and shot these things called Back to the Lake with empty wine bottles that they had ordered the wine and loved it so much. This was their gift to me. They went up and snuck on and made these great wine commercials. And they're hysterical. And then I met up with them in Baltimore last year at the reunion, the Big Friday the 13th reunion, and they were so cool. They had already gotten these prior shots up at the lake, and then we green screened me into it in their hotel room.
Wow.
And you have to check it out. It's hysterical. But what I was going to say, because of this, we decided to do these coast to coast toasts where, most of the people who love Friday the 13th are also into filmmaking, or a lot of them are. And now it's so easy to make a little video. They do these coast to coast toasts where they'll post. You send it to the media at adrienneking.com or crystallakewines.com, and we put all your personal photos with the wine, and we pick the winner, and also personal videos. And some of the things that come back to us are incredible. So it's basically like everyone, and it's actually international too, if you can get your hands on a bottle, but only if you have them outside of the country.
Yes.
We've gotten some really cute, adorable, and then some really fabulous videos with the wine. I mean, my campers are very creative, is all I can say. And then, of course, there's prizes for the winners and everything, free wine or posters or pictures or whatever.
That's awesome. That's really nice of you to do that. It's like you're a horror icon, and, you're really giving the love back. I mean, there's people who out there who are also icons who really could care less, and they don't care about the fans or nothing.
Yeah, we don't have to name names, but I've seen them. You know, you can find them, at any convention. You can see them standing there, rolling their eyes.
I know I'm going to call one of them out because I loved him in Friday the 13th Part 2, but
Who's that?
Paul in Friday the 13th Part 2. What's his name?
John Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know him personally, but he used to be with my commercial agent in the '80s when I was still 7. Yeah, but I don't. He's the one who worked with Amy, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is he not a great guy?
Nah, he looked like he didn't even want to be there. I was trying to like get into a conversation, engage him. He was just like, yeah, do you want a picture? You know.
No. Really?
It's $20.
You know, I don't understand people like that. It's not like he has a huge career. He should embrace it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what is he doing?
I mean, is that rude to say? I mean,
no, it's the fact, and there's nothing wrong in truth.
Well, that's all I'm saying. You know, people don't have to be anywhere they don't want to be.
Exactly. No injury.
You know, I know you were just talking about how bad of an experience you had on Part 2, but you couldn't tell. You did a great job. You know, your acting was perfect. I thought it was great. And that scene with the ice pick was really memorable for me, and it really stuck in my head.
It was memorable for her, too.
Well, yeah,
the fact that it almost went through her head.
But there's no way that you would understand, like, how much that means to somebody, like, you know, obviously not, you know, horror in general is obviously morbid and stuff like that, but there's something about it, too, where it's really personal, and people like myself where, you know, I'm into a bunch of different things, but horror movies and stuff like that is probably one of my favorites. That's why we do the show, and it's fun and stuff like that. But to know that, like I said before, that people like you are into it and you give back and stuff like that, that means the world. And I just wanted to tell you because that was one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, I got into horror movies was seeing you in those movies, the first two, and watching all the sequels after that. And I was off and running since. And it was, you played such an integral part in my life. And that's why I think where these people come up and sometimes, you know, people get nervous and they don't know what to say. So it's hard enough in itself going up to, you know, your idols or people that you look up to.
And I always feel for those people, you know, that thank you for saying that. You're making me really a little misty here. But I honestly appreciate the fact that you're saying that because I take the time because I know it's just as important to each one of you standing in. You wouldn't be standing waiting in line if it wasn't important. And I just embrace that and I cherish that. And it makes me actually upset when people don't. It really does.
Yeah.
And especially for shy people, you know, because it must be so difficult. I can only imagine how difficult it must be to, you know, extend yourself. And I always try to make it a little bit easier. But
Adrienne, we could just ask him. Can you tell who the shy person on the show is? Mike, are you there?
I'm here, but I am the shy one. I'm here.
Hi.
I don't talk much about hi.
Yeah, maybe you can help Mike. Mike's very intimidated.
I am very, very shy. That's why, like, during interviews and stuff, I do not talk. I do not ask questions. I just sit here and listen.
He just hangs there and enjoys the experience. Yeah.
And that's totally cool. You know, I get it. I really do. And that's what that's what I strive for. I strive for, like, trying to at least let everyone who's interested know that I'm here for them if they need me. You know, if you find your way to me, you know, I can at least be reciprocal of that, and I appreciate it, and I'll give you back anything you're giving me.
Yeah, we appreciate it and love you. And, you know, just this is a question that fans would love to know, and, you know, I don't know, I'm sure you were asked this before, but did you watch all of the sequels of Friday the 13th?
Answer is kind of, sort of. No, and I'll tell you how. I you know, needless to say, I have, you know, I have the little collections, and I've gone through them. But I'll fast forward. I'm sorry, I will. And
really?
And just a little, and and then if I know people, like for instance, I know Lars, so I'll watch Lars just when I met her, just to catch up with it,
Yeah.
Right. That kind of thing. But after 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I know pretty well inside and out.
Cool.
After that, 7, I'm sort of familiar with, and a few of them it's like not so much.
Yeah, when he goes to hell or goes to outer space.
Yeah, and you know what? Really, I'll tell you one of my really big pet peeves.
Okay.
Is when he goes to Manhattan.
Oh no!
Yes. Thank you.
Oh my God!
And hold on, and they're playing the New York song. Who's singing it? Who's singing it? I forget.
Oh, that's that's in the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right.
God.
They spent more. I guarantee you, they spent more for just that music than they did for our entire first movie.
Oh wow!
No
They
way.
probably did. Yeah.
That's probably true.
I mean, maybe not some, but very close. We had no money.
What did you think of how he died? Like, that was the last one. He melted away from the toxic waste in the sewer. What did you think that was the stupidest thing?
Is that what the fans want Jason to do? I mean, seriously, if you could have Jason do anything, what would you have him do? Wouldn't you have him come back in the snow?
Right. Yeah.
I think that was which one was supposed to be Snow?
It's Retribution. It's there's some fan sites. Patrick Dobson and Joe Quintanilla and some of the other big Facebook buddies are putting together this little movie that Amy and I have saying, guys, go for it because it's a great idea, and it is a great idea. Also Jeff Wickedbeard, if you know the guy who does a great Jason. He walks around the conventions and he does great.
Oh, yeah, I think I've seen him.
He's fabulous. I mean, I just want what the fans want for this series. That's all.
How about Freddy versus Jason? What do you think of that?
Okay. It was good for the box office.
Wow, see? I think you're more the lines of me than these two. Now I'm going to cheer. Yes!
I don't think ultimately, I mean, maybe... And also, there's a division of fans too, they cross over. There's the purists,
right?
And then there's the all let's get them all Ash and everybody together.
Yeah, exactly. Michael Myers, Ash, Freddy. Yeah.
And let's have you ever see that poker game painting with all the killers? It's like let's get them all together.
Right.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, this was really a really fun interview, and we're looking forward to anything you have coming. I know you're filming right now, Tales of Poe.
It's going to be a trilogy. The first one's already been filmed, called The Telltale Hearts, starring Debbie Rochon.
Oh, I love that story.
Oh my God! And what a twist! And it's already won a few film festivals as a short because it's done in a 40s film noir kind of thing. The killer is female, so it's all different. It's very, very different and very, very, very 40s Hollywood movie kind of look. And then the second one is The Casa Amontillado, which Alan Moe Kelly stars in, which is very, very, very scary. And he's well known for Gallery of Fear, which is coming out. And then the third one, which is going to have me and Amy and Caroline Williams in it. And it has no dialogue whatsoever, which is where I'm talking, the artist comes into play again.
Right, yeah.
And if you've been onto my website, I have little bits and pieces of all my new and upcoming films. There's some extraordinarily phenomenal photos of me as the Queen of Dreams, playing the Queen of Dreams.
Perfect. That sounds nice.
Nice.
Are you going to go to Monster Mania by any chance in New Jersey this year? August?
I'm going to be up in Syracuse for Scarecuse. Do you know that one?
Nah.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's going to be a good one.
They're all good, right?
Does your show go overseas at all? Does it go?
It goes anywhere that people click YouTube or iTunes.
Well, if anyone happens to be in or around London, there is some incredible incredible art to be seen at the Misty Moon Gallery. And now what they've done is they've also, because I've encouraged them, they had a film club. I've encouraged them to do a film festival, because they don't have any, believe it or not, really cool horror film festivals or any genre film festivals down in South London. And so I'm going back in on Halloween to be the judge, one of the judges for the Misty Moon first annual film festival. So any filmmakers listening that want a really fabulous international film credit, it's minimal. Since it's their first annual, and they have some great judges too. It's like $10 to enter or something crazy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and so people should check out Misty Moon. I think it's .net. I'm not positive, but if you go to my Facebook, you can find it.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Well, so good talking to you. Thank you so much.
And you.
And
you,
thank you.
And Dan, and Mike, and Andrew, Alex, my favorite name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't thank you enough, Adrienne. Seriously, we'll talk on Facebook too. I'm on there every day, so I'll annoy you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I appreciate it. And we're gonna have a Friday the 13th event at the winery. If anyone's in Oregon. We're actually going to show the movie on the big lawn. We did it 2 years ago, and it was insanely successful. We had diehard fans drive down from Seattle and Portland and up from the Bay Area, sitting right next to wine club members who had never seen the movie before. You know what I mean? And it was fabulous. So I didn't want to do it, but because of like the winery says, due by popular demand, we're doing it again because it's going to be the last one for a long time. We're going to do it on the lawn, and popcorn and wine and live music until dark, and a barbecue and the whole deal. And then and a sneak peek at my new movie, Gabby's Wish, which is really hysterical. It's a dramedy, and I play a Bible thumper. If you want to see Alice in a different light, with a gay daughter. I am a Bible thumper with a gay daughter. Okay,
that's interesting.
Yeah, seriously. And the whole family reunites to see who's going to end up getting the bulk of this estate that my older sister is dying and the whole deal. But anyway, so we're going to have a sneak peek of that. But the key is, I said I wouldn't do it unless we could do something really funky and new and twisty. And that's so after the movie, we're going to do a Q&A by flashlight through the vineyard.
Wow.
What? Oh, man, I want to go.
Yeah, Dan loves that.
And let me tell you, I have some good things in store.
Oh, you're making me so jealous. Wow, that sounds like fun. You know how to do it.
If anyone in your audience is listening that is within driving distance to the Valley View Vineyard or Valley View Winery, you have to come. It's a whole $10, including a glass of wine and popcorn.
Right.
Start saving now, guys.
Yeah. Road trip.
Road trip. Yeah, we were just talking about that. I saw that you had a new one up there on your Facebook, and oh my God, I got really excited. So I think I'm gonna order some of that ASAP. Can you talk about the new one and how that came about? And
it's pretty darn awesome how it all. Oh, can I say damn? It's pretty damn awesome how it all came about.
Go crazy.
Yeah.
The new one's called Camp Lush, and it's a proprietary blend of awesome red wines their fruit is left, the grapes are left on the vines just a little bit longer so the sugars come up, so there's a little bit of sweetness to it, but it's got a little bit of beautiful fruit. It's like hints of melon and strawberry jam, I say, and it's the perfect summer wine. And it's, once again, I have to thank the fans out there. It's selling like crazy, and they're loving it, and the feedback is awesome. Can't get enough, and that's what we hope for. I could go on and talk about it forever, so I'll take a breath and you can ask the next question.
Well, I guess obviously the next one would be where could people get it? Where do they go to get this?
It's easy as either going to my website, which is adrienneking.com,
right,
or going to crystallakewines.com.
Perfect.
Either one of those will do. And you'll see a whole bunch of really, really fun stuff. I have the most incredible Friday the 13th fan / webmaster named Curtis, and he's got little Jason and Alice avatars running all over my website. If you haven't been on it yet, it's worth it just to have a good chuckle. And it'll link you right to Crystal Lake Wines, and you can order Survivor's Syrah, which is my comfort wine in the winter time.
Yeah, that's a classic one, right? You've had that for a while.
I have, but it's almost sold out. We've had that for about a year and a half.
Right.
Yeah, something like that, year and a half. And it's almost sold out, which is what's so great about these wines is that once they sell out, that's it. It's like the limited edition, right. And then I'll come back with another varietal with another twist. And so that's kind of what happened. That sold out, so I had to come back and beg my winemaker who's been with Valley View Wines, which is the best, oldest, and finest winery in Southern Oregon. They have more gold medals than anyone. Right. And they came to me. I was a wine club member there for a couple of years and would go in there every 4 months and pick up my wine selection because in the valley here, we're the new Napa Sonoma. We didn't know when we moved here, but we truly found a piece of paradise. And all of a sudden, it's really become very well known for fine wines at half the price of Napa and Sonoma because we don't have the overhead nor the taxes. So when you order, we have no taxes on the wine. And the winemaker here graduated from UC Davis, and which is the Harvard of wine for people who may not know that. Most campers probably don't know that, but
all we care is how drunk we get from it. That's all.
Well, let me tell you, the numbers are up there. You can check the bottles. My alcohol content's pretty good.
Do they vary from price to price too, Adrienne, or are they all about the same? Or
I'll tell you what I have to do. Now, this is, you see, I understand the economy and I understand price points with my campers. I'm very realistic, and I know that we can't afford in this economy like ridiculously priced wines. So what I do is I go into the winemaker and beg. This is really true. I know enough about wines to know exactly which ones I like, and enough time has gone by that I have enough feedback what my campers like. Right. And so I knew everybody wanted a little bit of sweet wine, but I knew what it took to get it. So last summer I put in my request. And I literally was begging for the grapes this spring, saying, "Please, I need a new varietal," And so they came through. And there's only enough for about max 12 cases, which is 144 bottles, maybe 15 cases at I haven't counted what we have in it right now. But that's the best thing about it. It's all very boutique, custom crush. And I keep it all under $20. I try to do it $20 or $20, and the shipping is the killer because shipping I can't do anything about. So I try and keep it like average about $20 because I think, for a good bottle of wine, plus I'll sign anything you want on it. Plus I usually send some bonus in the, like a signed art card or a signed poster or something goes in with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sold. Yep.
Yeah. So or a postcard that's and all about the winery and all about tips on wine. So it's it's really my passion. I've now got 3 passions. I started with acting and art, and now I've added the wine to it.
Yep.
Hey, that's a great addition. Adrienne, I have a date a week from Friday, and this is like the girl of my dreams, and so I'm thinking about getting a couple bottles of wine. I think she'd like that, especially if you signed it too, because she's a big fan of yours and stuff like that. Not a huge horror fan, but she loves this movie. This is the one movie that we can actually watch, and she loves it or whatever. So what kind of wine would you recommend? That what's a good first date wine?
Without a doubt, because this is why to me Camp Blush crosses over, because to me it's first of all it's the perfect summer wine. It's refreshing, it's light, and it's it kind of, to me, the name crosses over and reminiscent of like the first kiss, Camp Blush. You know, it's to diehard horror fans. It's a Camp Blush / Camp Blood.
Right.
But to me, it brings back all the memories of your first summer camp experience, which is to me like I loved my first summer camp.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've created a lot of summer memories for a lot of fans. I know that.
Yeah, for sure. And this one, without a doubt, is my favorite. This is going to do it. It's this is kind of like the combination of camp and a little love.
Yeah.
That's awesome, and thank you for giving me that advice too. And if everything works out, I'll invite you to the wedding.
Oh my God, you must come and have it at the winery. We do weddings.
Oh, perfect. Exactly, perfect.
Absolutely. And by the way, there's a special sale on it now too, 3 for $60, including free shipping. I've become like this incredible little crystal boutique winery salesperson now, but that's a really good price for this wine. I promise you that.
No, it's
well, thank you, Adrienne. We love you so much. We can't thank you enough for doing this too. We really do love you.
My pleasure, and let's all stay in touch, okay?
Yep. And if anyone can't get to this thing, I'll put them on the bus myself.
And by the way, Captain B is all ready.
All right. Nice.
Beautiful. Love it.
Have a happy Friday the 13th.
You too.
Thank you.
All right, hugs and kisses to you all.
Mwah.
Yep,
Take care. Happy camping.